Hi, I'm Jonathan Adair from ECR. I'm here at Mad Elevator with Phil Grimes, one of the founders of ECR. Phil, why don't you tell us a bit about what it was like when you first started the company?
Well, we started ECR back in 1987, and back then the elevator interiors consisted of about 7 panels, and that was it.
Right, hang-on panels. That's what we call B-Look now.
That's correct, just hang-on panels. Back in the day, anybody could make these panels, and we were building them in our garage.
What's the key feature that makes a B-Look hang-on panel?
A B-Look hang-on panel is held on the wall using a clip system, as you would see right here on the back of the panel.
Well, Phil, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you can put on the surfaces of those B-Look panels?
Well, they're quite versatile, so the surface of the panels can be done with either a plastic laminate, we can use glass, or we can use a variety of different metals.
Interesting. What about the edges?
So the edges as well, very versatile. In this case, we can use like a C-channel or an L angle, or we can use a plastic laminate to match the front surface, or the cheapest of all would be the black PVC edge.
What are the best edges to put on a B-Look panel?
Well, I would say the best edges are the metal edges, and the reason for that is where the plastic laminate meets the plastic laminate, you're going to see most of your damage take place. With the C-channel, you can see how it protects the edge of the panel, as does the angle.
So Phil, I guess because it's a hang-on panel, you have some flexibility about your reveal configuration.
That's correct, Jonathan. You can change the size of your panels, change the size of your reveals to suit whatever your requirements are.
What kind of a range can we have for those reveal sizes?
Anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 2 inch, 6 inch, it really doesn't matter.
I bet you could even butt the panels one against the other if you wanted to.
Absolutely, you could do whatever you want.
Fantastic. Sounds very flexible.
It is very flexible, probably one of the positives of the B-Look system.
Great. What do you have to do if one of those panels gets damaged?
That's the downside. If a panel gets damaged, you pretty much have to replace it.
Are these B-Look panels reversible?
These B-Look panels are not reversible, not like some of our other panel systems.
Oh, that's too bad. So if that plastic laminate is no longer available, you're basically finished with that interior.
That's right. You would have to change the entire interior to get your plastic laminate to be consistent.
Tell me a little bit about the A-Look. What made you think about that?
How that evolved was we were asked to install a competitor's product, and there was a lot of features in it that we liked and a lot that we didn't like.
Well, tell me a bit about the features that you liked.
Well, the system went together relatively well. It was a tongue and groove system. There was lots of leeway. We liked those parts of the system.
Well, what did you not like?
Parts that we didn't like were the fact that it was made of particle board. And the particle board is fine as a substrate. However, for a tongue and groove type application, it just doesn't have the strength.
How are those tongue and grooves finished?
The tongue and grooves were finished just with a painted surface, which really did not protect the edge of the panels at all.
So that made those edges vulnerable like the plastic laminate edges on a B-Look panel.
Correct. The edges of the panels are vulnerable to damage. They're not well protected. These are all items that we thought we needed to address if we were ever to come up with a product that would work.
So what'd you do to solve those problems, Phil?
We introduced an interlocking aluminum proprietary system that is all in aluminum, and as you can see, you can pull it out. It creates the tongue for the tongue and groove. The panel will then slide back in, and the trim extends out beyond the edge of the panel, protect it all the way around.
How far does it come out, Phil?
It comes out by about 1/8 of an inch.
So those edges are really covered.
These edges are well protected. You can have a look at the edge as well. All fully protected.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the Gen 2 A-Look? How did you evolve it?
So the Gen 2 A-Look is slightly different, and it's made so that the panels are actually reversible, as well as the extrusion itself has got a stainless steel finish to it.
Well, why is it good to have a stainless steel anodize on aluminum?
It just matches up much better with the stainless steel reveals, which are typical in most elevators today.
Oh, Phil, can you pull that top panel off and show me how that panel flips?
I can.
Wow.
It'll flip, goes back on, flips back in.
Wow. Don't flip out, just flip it.
Correct.
Well, Phil, can you reverse any panel?
Actually, no, you can't reverse any panel. You can only reverse the horizontal panels, and typically, even then, you'd only want to do the plastic laminate ones, or if you had the capacity or the weight allowance to do it, you could do it with stainless steel ones as well.
Interesting. And is it easy to reverse these panels?
Actually, it's not that easy to do. The one benefit that it does have, though, is that it gives you the option of having basically a storage element for your plastic laminate. So should in the future that your plastic laminate is discontinued, guess what? You have one on the back side of this panel.
Well, that's fantastic. So what that means is even if that panel is damaged 10 years from now, you can still flip that panel and have the original laminate even though the manufacturer doesn't make it anymore.
That's absolutely correct.
Brilliant. Well, Phil, the A-Look's a very interesting product, but where would you use it?
Well, you'd use it on the higher end buildings that are looking for a highly customizable product.
So really high-end, nice refined look, but still going to be relatively inexpensive because of the standard engineering practice?
That's it exactly.
Brilliant. Why don't you tell me about the C-Look? Why did you create that?
The C-Look was designed to get something that was ultra practical.
Well, Phil, that's a great idea, but how'd you do it?
What we did is we introduced a different type of extrusion. This one so that the vertical panels remain easy to flip. By doing that, all we did was introduced a screw cap inlay that can be removed simply by pulling on the top of it, exposing the screws down below. Remove the screws, take the extrusion off, flip the panel, your job is done.
No kidding. That sounds pretty fast.
It's very fast, and not only that, you don't have to hire a mechanic to have it done. You could have it done by your own maintenance people.
So, Phil, is it easy to pull those screw cap inlays off?
It's not easy to pull them off unless you have access to the top. You can do it with a screwdriver, and in some cases, a specialty tool.
So, does the panel look the same on both sides?
The panel looks the same on both sides. In this case, I can show you. Same panel, just put it back in again.
That's fantastic.
And what do you say, Jonathan?
Don't flip out, just flip it, Phil. So, Phil, one of the criticisms of the A-Look design is, and the B-Look for all that goes, is that you had to be able to disassemble the whole cab in order to flip a panel. Do you have to do that with the C-Look?
No, the nice thing about the C-Look is you only have to flip the damaged panel.
Well, that's fantastic. So any position, anytime?
Any position, anytime.
And you can use regular maintenance staff to do it?
Absolutely.
Same price, twice the life?
Same price, twice the life.
Brilliant. Well, Phil, I guess we have one more line. The E-Look.
The E-Look, that's right. The E-Look is extremely light. Check it out.
Whoa! Why'd you do that?
Well, Jonathan, in some cases, elevators have no weight coming out. Therefore, I can't put much weight back in. And they still want finishes in their car to look good. So that was one reason. The other reason is today's elevators are more and more efficient and therefore have much less weight capacity than before.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So a typical 2,500 pound car is going to give us about 250 pounds of allowance. Can you fit inside that?
Yes, we can.
That's pretty amazing. That's the only solution I know of that can do that. Well, Phil, what kind of surface materials can you put on an E-Look panel?
Very similar to the B-Look. We can put in plastic laminate, we can put various decorative metals, we can even put on glass.
Well, I suppose your metal and glass is going to kind of be limited by the amount of weight you have available.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, okay, very good. How's that put on the wall?
These are put on with, believe it or not, a high bond two-way tape.
You're kidding me. High bond two-way tape sounds a little bit hokey to me.
It does seem hokey. It always felt hokey to me too. However, this tape is incredible. It'll hold 90 pounds per square inch.
You're kidding me. So just a couple of square feet for me?
That's right, Jonathan.
Well, Phil, that two-way tape sounds like a great deal. How long does it take to install?
This has to be our fastest install yet.
You're kidding me, because the other ones are pretty efficient.
The other ones are efficient, but this is even faster.
Well, that's fantastic. So it's light, it's fast to install, and is it inexpensive?
I wouldn't say it's inexpensive, but it solves an issue.
What do you have for lightweight products for the rest of the model lines?
Well, we have the regular weight, we have the lightweight, and we have the ultra lightweight.
Well, fantastic. So in, of course, all engineering things, there's always trade-offs that you have to have. What are the trade-offs here?
The trade-offs are weight versus cost, and to some degree durability. So the lightweight is 20% less cost with no compromise on durability. The ultralight, however, also costs about 20% more, but you're losing almost 20% in durability and mostly in impact strength.
Well, I take it that it's a pretty significant increase if you're going to give up some of your impact resistance.
Yes, we're talking from a regular weight all the way down to the ultralight. You're looking at about 144 pounds of difference. That's a huge difference in this industry.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. But how does it compare to an E-Look?
The E-Look is even lighter. It comes in at 186 pounds.
So what's the top weight there?
For a standard 2,500 pound capacity car, a full weight car is going to come in at 383 pounds, and an E-Look is going to come all the way down to 184 pounds.
Wow, that's almost 200 pounds of difference.
Which is huge in this industry.
Well, that is huge. I would say that will let you go from a rubber floor all the way up to a luxurious granite floor.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Well, Phil, what other really cool features do we have in our product lines?
Well, cool features we've introduced, especially for the installation process, is basically no requirement to have to cut metal, no glue required, and a minimal amount of measuring to do.
How low can you go on measurements, Phil?
The C-Look only takes one measurement.
You're kidding me. That really is a practical model,
Pretty
isn't it?
fast.
Pretty fast. That's wonderful. What did you do with kick plates and top caps?
So the kick plates are designed to be removable from inside the cab. And what's the advantage of that? It enables you to change the floor easily.
Well, Phil, why don't you tell me a little bit about that kick plate you have there?
So this is our hollow vented removable kick plate. So it's made so that you can actually screw it in from the front through these vent holes, and it can be removed. And the reason for that is if you got to change your floor, just pull it out, change the floor, and put it back.
So how do you attach that to the wall?
It screws in through these little tabs that are in behind these vent slots.
No kidding, and it's hollow, so it must be much lighter than a wood one.
It's lighter than a wood one, and it allows for ventilation all the way through the kick plate.
That's fantastic. So what that means is the vent holes can actually be behind the spaces between the vents?
Absolutely.
Very good design, very good design. Well, Phil, why don't you tell us a little bit about this top cap here?
Like I said before, Jonathan, we want to eliminate the amount of gluing that we do inside the cab. We also want to eliminate any cutting. So in this case, the bottom tab fits in behind the lower panel, and these screw ports are made so that we can screw it to the top of the cab.
So before, you used to have to screw a block of wood to the wall and then glue the metal onto the block of wood, right?
That's correct. A lot of room for error. In this case, we eliminate all that error. And if there's a problem, undo the screws, take it off, readjust, put it back in.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, what do you do with this little home run hitter?
So that is what we call a removable pad hook. And the idea of the pad hook, and if you look at the top of this panel, you can see all these slots in here. These slots are made to hold the pad hook. And what we do is we slide the pad hook into the top cap, and it locks into place. And if I pull it back out again, you can see how we rotate it into place. That's to eliminate the possibility of the pad hook after lifting out of position. It's also, we have a series of right-hand hooks followed by a series of left-hand hooks. And what that does is creates pressure from both sides, making sure that the cab pin stays exactly where you want it.
So if the blanket is attached to a left and a right hook, it can't rotate left or right, and it can't go up.
That's correct.
Ha! Genius.
And if you're not using it, take it off, put it away. No unsightly hooks.
Well, Phil, in conclusion, I guess we could say we have 4 product lines. They're all fast and easy to install, and they all represent the best value for the customer's money.
That's right. They just have to pick the right product for their problem.
Fantastic. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.